In this video, I am going to explain to you an example for writing a paragraph based on the sentence stems I provided. So in this example, I give you a different kite problem. And so my first sentence stem just asks, what is the problem asking you to do? In this problem, I have to find the values of x and y. So all you're doing is restating what the question is. Maybe that's finding a certain measurement of a segment or an angle or the value for some variables. The next step asks what information is provided in the diagram and problem statement. What conclusions can you draw from this? So the big key with this first step is that I do not do any calculations. In the first step, I'm stating what I see in the picture. And then I'm also talking about what properties I know about my shape. So for example, I say, based on the problem, I know that I have a kite. I see a diagonal drawn in the kite. I also see that the top vertex angle is a right angle. So all I've done in that first two sentences is state what I see in the problem. Now is when I'm going to start making some connections to properties. So I see that the top vertex angle is a right angle, so I know it is equal to 90 degrees. Well, now I've made a connection. I know right angles are 90 degrees. Based on the diagram shown, I know that the diagonal bisects the two vertex angles. So that is applying a property of kites that I know, which is that the diagonal bisects the vertex angles. I also know that the y degree angle is congruent to the 6x degree angle. So I know that y and 6x are going to be equal to each other, and that's just applying that last property of kites that we have two congruent angles. In our next part of our paragraph is when we're actually going to do calculations. And what I want you to be careful with here is that you are talking about each step of the calculation one by one. So first I divide 90 by 2 to get 45 degrees in each triangle because the diagonal bisects that angle. So I'm using the fact that I know I have an angle bisector to divide by 2. You notice that that is just one calculation, is dividing by 2. Next, I add 6x, 3x divided by 2, and 45 to equal 180. So now I'm talking about those the three angles in my triangle. Now in this next part, I leave you guys kind of that last box because you might have one step, you might have 4 steps. So take as many steps as you need for that last sentence. So here I actually have 3 sentences. Then I combine the like terms to get 15x divided by 2 equal to 135. After that, I multiply both sides by 2 over 15 to isolate x. This gives me x is equal to 18. So you notice that I tell you what operation I'm doing, and I'm telling you what the answer is. So the operation is multiplying, the answer is 18, or combining like terms and what that gives me. And then finally, I substitute in 18 for x in the expression 6x to get that y is equal to 108 degrees. And then my last sentence, these calculations gave me a final answer of 18 and 108 for the values of x and y respectively. So you notice that the beginning and end of my paragraph, I am stating the problem and then clearly stating the answer to that problem. That way the reader is remembering what we're talking about, just like you'd have a topic and a conclusion sentence. You notice that when I'm listing my steps, I always have some sort of transition words. This is making it really clear that I am writing a sequence of steps. I also try very hard to explain where all of my steps are coming from. When you write your paragraph, it should be just as detailed as this. And when you write your paragraph, you will not include these ellipses in our different sentences. Write it in our proper grammar form. Thank you very much.